but also to the public for this conference of this IKT Congress 2010 in Athens. Just a few words about IKT for those who are from the public and not members. IKT is an association an international association of curators of contemporary art, founded in 1973, and since then it gathered European and also from other countries, the States, Canada, Japan, Korea, and many others, curators of contemporary art. Our main topic is to get to exchange, to think about our practice as curators, but also one important moment of this association is the annual congress that we do every year in another city. The purpose of the congress is, of course, to be together for 3 or 4 days. It's always important to see the colleagues, to talk to them. Many of them become friends, and we get also to get to know new colleagues. The other important thing about this annual congress is that it's an opportunity to know better a city, an art scene, with its institution, its artists, its other curators, and all the people who are involved in contemporary art. And that's why we are this year in Athens. Just as a very short notice, we of course decided more than 2 years ago to come now to Athens. We could not foresee neither volcano eruptions nor other eruptions, but I think this makes it very important for us because it's a very important moment to be also here in Athens. I would like first to thank the Benaki Foundation for hosting us in this wonderful auditorium in this new space here, and especially to Mr. Girolanu and Mr. Delivorias for having given us the opportunity to be here and to have our annual conference here. Thank you for all the people that are here also. IKT members, you can recognize them at the badge. It's not that they have other special visual things, but so the badges are for people from IKT. I want also to thank all the translators, because this conference will be translated in Greek also. And of course I want to thank Chantal Pontbriand. She is IKT board member. And she is in charge of the conference of this year. She will introduce also the speakers, but I want to thank very much Markus Steinweg, Costas Douzinas, Sarat Maharaj, and Costas Douzinas too, for being here and accepting to be for this conference. But I think the topic courage is something that we all need, not only as curators of contemporary art, but in everyday life, and in the present times, it's a very important thing to have. At the end of this first part, before the reception, the small break that we will have, I will give some practical information about the rest of the day, but now I leave the word to Chantal, and thank you to the speakers, and thank you all to be here.
So, good morning, and thank you for being here. Kalimera to our Greek colleagues who have joined us this morning. I want to thank also the Board of IKT and its membership to have encouraged me to develop the subject of courage for this symposium. IKT members are here in Greece on the occasion of our yearly gathering. I feel that this is a very remarkable occasion in many respects. IKT has never had a congress in a country which is in the midst of a major financial and socio-political turmoil. So we come to Athens at a moment in time when not only the country but the world is struck by a crisis unprecedented in scope. In my mind, and in that of my colleagues who encouraged me to chair this symposium, it seems impossible to ignore what is happening and especially what is at issue. So if we look at this image that circulated in the international media only 10 days ago, when 100,000 people came out in the streets of Athens, it is difficult for most outsiders to understand the meaning of this posterization of the Parthenon, as Augustine in the Athens Biennale was very acutely making a remark to me a few days ago. But as our colleague Sotirios Batsis has termed it in a superb analytical text about the situation published this year, it is part of the image wars that characterize the uprising and in which the difficulty of the marriage between the event and the multitude show up. So what is happening is more and more clear as months go by, because this crisis did not begin 1 month ago. The financial system, which is at the heart of the globalized world's economy, is showing serious signs of dysfunction. These lead to a collapse which started to show up most remarkably in the United States in 2008 already. 2 years later, following massive government interventions and investments in most countries, several on the verge of bankruptcy, there are signs of recovery, although many experts recommend that we seek not only to normalize the situation and bring it to what it was before, but especially these voices plead for a change of rules in financial systems that influence domestic as well as international situations. Poverty is at stake, for example, as different studies show that although individual revenue is improving, the gap between the rich and the poor in certain countries is getting wider and wider. This is the case of the United States even, Great Britain, Portugal also. It is a question to be taken seriously in the world's most quickly expanding economies such as India and China. The case of Greece participates in this world's equilibrium of the richness and poverty, as the tensions that have occurred between the European community and the country have shown. The balancing act is extremely difficult to win over because of the divergent interests not only of countries, but of political and economical alliances, let alone individuals, as the debate over the basic business of universal health care in the US has widely demonstrated, for example. The idea behind this symposium is to look at the question of courage. Although I think it will become more and more popular in the near future because of its sheer necessity. Think of what has happened in Haiti, Argentina, China, Greece now, be it for environmental or economical reasons. It is an idea that is not so often brought up at this point in time or in recent history. Possibly it seems antiquated to call upon moral values in a century which is preoccupied by material growth and by a pragmatical, result-oriented attitude. Questioning results or such an attitude have not been the prime concern as long as our societies seem to surf on progress and development, capital gains, and the increasing comfort of the everyday. Some of these attitudes now are in a critical state and have to be changed.